What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tom once again. Recording on a Thursday, even though I would stop doing it right before the Thursday night game starts. But here we are. Life happens, shit happens. So let's recap let's just get right into it. Week 4. Bengals, and we'll start with the biggest news from week 4 last week, which was the Bengals Dolphins game. I said the Bengals would win, and they did. But the bigger news story is that Tua getting hurt once again, being thrown to the ground, what looks like a concussion, which I think it is, which I think confirmed it wasn't a concussion. His fingers got all twisted up and shit. He seems to be able to move. He was able to move, which is great news, but he's definitely out against the Jets next week against the Jets. And who knows how long he's going to be out for. So we're going to see. They already fired the NFLPA fired the their independent doctor. And if Tua is not able to play, I worry for Tua's future. If he keeps getting more of these concussions the way that he did, he's fucked. He's going to be fucked for the rest of his life. He's already made a good amount of money, but he wants to make more. And it's sad because it looks like he's finally having his breakout year. He had a couple of, I wouldn't say bad, but not as great years because of having Brian Flores as a head coach. And there were stories in Miami saying Brian Flores didn't like him. He wanted Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow, or in the 21 draft, I believe he said he wanted Mac Jones, but they stuck with Tua, and they've had so many different offensive coordinators in his short time as starting quarterback. And it seems like this year, Mike McDaniel unlocked his potential. Especially, it definitely helps when you get Tyreek Hill and other weapons involved. So, even though they lost this game, they're still in first place in the AFC East. So, they'll be like that for right now. So, looking forward to seeing how these two teams progress. And the Bengals, finally, it seems like they're back. They're ready. They're good to go. Their offensive line has finally been seem to be doing a lot better. I believe they only gave up one sack the entire game. So, all right, and we'll move on to the next game. The game that was played in London. I said the Vikings would win, and they did. Justin Jefferson seemed to have a comeback game. He looked good, and so did the rest of the Vikings team. The Saints were a Will Lutz field goal, 61-yard field goal away from tying, hitting the double doink, which was, Bears fans know the pain of the double doink, which my Eagles survived that wild card game in 2018. So Saints aren't looking that great offensively. They seem to not have anything going on well. They have a little bit. They had a lot of players. I believe Kamara was out. I believe Michael Thomas was out. So they weren't really fully stacked. So I'm looking to see the Saints bounce back, even though they're in a top 5 pick position right now, which is good for my Eagles. And this next game, I said Cleveland would win on the road, but I was wrong. And Atlanta surprised me once again. They didn't surprise me against Seattle because I didn't think Seattle was a good team, but they surprised me against the Browns. The Browns were a much better team on paper, but you got to actually play to win the game. So I don't really have much to say. I didn't really check out the highlights for the games. We'll just skip off of that one. Bills and Ravens. I said the Ravens had a home field advantage, but I'm not surprised that the Bills won. The only reason I think that the reason the Ravens lost is because of the bad decision by John Harbaugh to go on 4th down. They could have taken the field goal. It would have been 23-20. Bills would have probably still have gotten the field goal. Would have at least went to overtime. So Bills, I believe the Bills were struggling in the first half too, but they came back and won the game. The 3-1. They're now in second place. Miami has the tiebreaker over them. And let's move on to that. Josh Allen still looking like a beast, so is Stephon Diggs. And unfortunately, Cowboys beat the Commanders just like I thought they would. Cooper Rush is doing a really good job with this team. Dak might be coming back next week. I don't know. There's a lot of reports saying he's ready for the Rams game. Worst case scenario, he gets in there. He gets in there now, but they're probably going to rest him for at least another couple of weeks. But I'm hoping for another couple of weeks because I don't know. Honestly, Cooper Rush is playing well, but I still don't think he's better than Dak Prescott. And I don't think And the Cowboys haven't faced a great pass rush, great defense since they played Tampa Bay. And the Rams are kind of iffy right now on defense. They are not really tackling that well. And we'll get to that game in a moment. But yeah, Carson Wentz looks like he's struggling again. The offensive line's not doing that well. Here I was wrong. Here, the Lions and the Seahawks. The Lions lose by 3. They were down early. They came back. They're never... The good characteristic is that they're never out of the game, but their defense is ass, and they need to learn how to finish games. I mean, I all respect Geno Smith looking like a really good looking like a professional quarterback, which is weird to say in 2022, which he's been behind a lot of other starters, but still. Geno Smith is actually doing his thing, and the Seahawks are 2-2, tied with the rest of the division, but the Niners have the division lead because they beat them and then the Rams, but we'll get to that game in a second. I said Chargers would beat the Texans, and I didn't trust Houston, and my gut told me I was correct. My boy, Justin Herbert, my fantasy quarterback, he was having a great day. Texans are struggling, and I figured they would be struggling their first year in the new system. I mean, not really new, but Lovie Smith as a head coach has been the head coach in the NFL for a while. I believe he was in college before last year. Yeah, he was a college coach before last year, so yeah, Texans look like they're going to keep on struggling the rest of the year. Chargers look like they're probably on their way up again. I believe I picked the Titans over the Colts, and if I did, I'm right. Barely, but Derrick Henry had a nice comeback of a game. He carried the team on his back. Tannehill played mistake-free football. And the Colts have been the most, honestly, probably one of the most disappointing team in the NFL right now. Because we expected Matt Ryan to be better. We expected the offensive line to be better. We expected the receivers to be better. A lot of people are hurt. Shaquille Leonard just got hurt. He's out for tonight's game. So, Colts are struggling. And Pat McAfee's not happy about it. He is not a happy camper right there in Indianapolis. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Bears lost to the Giants. I picked the Bears up to beat the Giants, but excuse me. The Giants, no, sorry, I got shit in my, sorry, Giants, with their limited offensive weapons, they're looking a lot better than I expected them to. Saquon looks like he's back. He leads the NFL in rushing, so... And I believe Kafka calls the play, so he's doing a pretty good job with Daniel Jones, having him be more mobile. But they're not going to keep him after this year. They're going to get rid of him. They're still going to get rid of Daniel Jones after this year. And I don't know about Saquon. They heard rumors that I don't know if I heard rumors, but I heard some speculation that the Bills should trade for Saquon, and I agree with that. But I highly doubt the Giants are going to trade Saquon Barkley without giving up a lot of assets. And then my Eagles, the only undefeated team in the NFL, beat an actual really good team in the Jags. And now people are going to say, oh, the Jags aren't really that good. Like, shut up. Shut the fuck up, haters. I'm talking to all the haters out there, especially the dumbass Cowboy fans. Shut the fuck up. We've beaten all the teams that have been put in front of us. Lions say they wanted to come up. We beat them. Vikings looked really great in week 1. Oh, but we shut their ass down. Commanders, Carson Wentz is looking pretty good the first couple of weeks. Beat that ass. And now this game, an actual really good team. The Jags were 2-1 with the number 1 rush defense. And I don't know if number 1 overall, but they had a high rush defense. Ran for over 200 yards against them. Jalen Hurts threw a pick 6 early on in the game, and the defense gave up a touchdown early on. We were down 14-0, but we came back, and we showed that we had resilience, which was a great win, a great trait for my Eagles team. The defensive line had a hell of a day. Hassan Reddick had a hell of a game. I believe he had 2 sacks and 2 strip fumbles, and a fumble recovery. So Hassan Reddick was a great signing by Philadelphia, just adding more pressure to the quarterback. And I was actually debating on starting Trevor Lawrence because he was my backup quarterback in fantasy, but I'm glad I didn't. And now this next game, I know I picked the Jets to beat the Steelers, and I was right. Zach Wilson struggled in the first 3 quarters, but he had a great 4th quarter. He came back and he did a damn thing. And And I believe Breece Hall, the running back, scored a touchdown on that. It was really close. He just got over the line, which is good. Which was good for them. So Jets are 2-2, and surprising that they've done a pretty good job so far. Steelers, I'm not surprised they're struggling with the. They had Mitch Trubisky out, I believe, the first couple of quarters, and Kenny Pickett came in. He threw 3 interceptions, but he ran for 2 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett kind of looks solid, but in his defense, a couple of those picks were not his fault. The receivers couldn't catch the ball. So it's going to be interesting for the Steelers moving forward. They have a really tough schedule this month, and especially starting with Kenny Pickett starting. I don't know how many games they're going to win. Now and then I picked the Cardinals over the Panthers. Panthers struggled as they have been all year. Kyle Murray gotten the Cardinals back to a rhythm, even though they looked like they were struggling a little bit too. Packers barely beat the Patriots in overtime. Aaron Rodgers threw a crazy pick 6, which never happens. I believe it was the rookie. What was his name? I think it was Jack Jones. He got a pick 6 off of Aaron Rodgers, which is crazy because he never throws pick 6s, but it's crazy that the Packers struggle against the Patriots offense with a backup quarterback because Hoyer got hurt in the game as well. But that backup looked pretty. He did a pretty good job for the situation that he was in. The Las Vegas Raiders. I said they needed to win this game, and they did. So good for them. Good for Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr, and the Vegas Raiders winning this game, keeping themselves somewhat alive. I don't know. They're not completely dead in the water yet. I know it's only the first week of October, but they were not looking good. If they lost this game, they probably would have been done. Like, they probably would have been automatically eliminated for the playoffs right now. But Raiders look good. Broncos offense is struggling. Melvin Gordon keeps fumbling the football. They lost Javonte Williams, so that sucks for them. They're playing tonight against the Colts, but they should be able to win the game tonight. Chiefs at Bucks. I picked the Chiefs, but the Chiefs made it look so fucking easy. They were dominating the Buccaneers early, and I'm surprised that the Bucks came back, but good for Kansas City. They're going to be a really tough team to watch out for. It looks like a lot of people question them without Tyreek Hill, and they basically said, we don't need Tyreek. We can throw to other players. Their rookie running back from Rutgers, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he's looking really good right now for them. Very solid running back for them. And my 49ers defense, great job. You got the one player, I forget his name, but he looks a lot like, he has hair like Troy Polamalu. Got a pick 6 off a best effort to close the game. The Niners defense kicked ass. Joey Bosa, all the boys on the defensive line. Fred Warner, much improved on the defensive back. And Jimmy Garoppolo is just doing the thing. He's taking care of the football. Debo just catches for a 57-yard touchdown, and the Rams are still struggling on offense. Cooper Kupp's their only fucking playmaker. They need other players to step up. Otherwise, this will be a really long season for the Rams. I don't even know if they can make the playoffs at this point. So Rams got to step up, and hopefully they have their opponent. Hopefully they can against their opponent, which I doubt they're going. I don't even know if they're going to beat Dallas. So speaking of the weeks, let's go. Colts at Broncos. Broncos lost. Colts, both teams lost. Looking to bounce back. I'm going with the Denver Broncos just because they have a better quarterback. Russell was still a better quarterback than Matt Ryan. The running game, Jonathan Taylor's out, and then Colts offensive line struggling, and I expect the Broncos just to keep doing their thing. They have a really good defense. Expect them to stop Matt Ryan's offense. So I'm going with Denver in this one. Giants at Packers in London. Picking Green Bay. Green Bay over New York. I just think obviously Aaron's a better quarterback. Packers have a much better defense, and I expect the Packers to not crush but win handily over the Giants. Steelers at Bills. Bills in an easy. Bills, I think they crush. I'm sorry, it's Pittsburgh, but I think the Bills crush the Steelers. At least 2 touchdowns. It's gonna be a score like 35-21. That's probably me being generous too. Chargers at Browns is actually a pretty solid game. Offensive line still hurt for the Chargers. Justin Herbert's still in the game. I don't know if Keenan Allen. Excuse me, I fucked that up big time. I don't know if Keenan Allen is gonna be coming back in this game. I think he's still out. Cleveland looked. They're up and down. Cleveland's a weird team. They're being really up and down right now. The Brissett, a quarterback. I want to get the Browns to. I want to give Browns the edge at home, but something tells me that the Chargers are going to win at this road game. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like the LA Chargers are going to win at home. Texans at Jags. Oh, Jags are going to bounce back. They were a handful of turnovers away from winning the game. Even though they turned the ball over 5 times, they still were in the game by 8 points by possession. So I expect the Jaguars to basically crush Houston at this point in the season. Bears at Vikings. Bears are kind of up and down, so I expect Minnesota to win this game, especially at home. I'd say by at least a touchdown. Lions at Patriots. 2 1-3 teams, which is really weird to say for the Patriots because we're used to seeing them being dominant, usually 3-1 at this point, 4-0, but they don't have Tom Brady anymore. So honestly, I'm gonna pick Detroit to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots won. I want Detroit to win. I want them to do well this year. I want them to at least be a contender for a wild card spot, which I don't know is going to happen because they seem to have. They're just right there. The offense kicks ass, but their defense just fucking blows. Seahawks at Saints. It's actually depending if the Saints get the weapons back. If they get Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas back, I think it'd be a lot closer. But I think as for right now, I'm gonna pick Seattle over them. It's gonna be close. It's not gonna be a blowout. I think the Seahawks are barely gonna get the edge over the Saints. Dolphins at Jets. Jets played pretty well last week. They came back and won, but I still expect the Dolphins to dominate, especially with Teddy Bridgewater. Quarterback, he's not a terrible choice. I expect him to keep that offense moving. They're gonna do good things with that offense. But because it's a divisional game, I'm going to expect it to be closer than it actually will be. I think it's probably like 7 or point about. Dolphins win by 7 or 3. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay, which is weird to say, they're both tied for the first place, but I'm going with Tampa Bay in this one. Tampa Bay is slightly only because they beat New Orleans and the Falcons didn't. So I'm going with Tampa Bay over Atlanta. That shouldn't be too hard. They have a lot of their players back. Atlanta's not looking. Cordell, their best player Cordell's out for at least 4 weeks. So yeah. Last 1:00 game: Titans at Commanders. If the Commanders want to turn their season around, this would be the game that they need to do it. I don't think they will. Offensive line's still bad. I mean, they have weapons. I think Dotson's hurt. I don't know if he's going to be available for this game, but same with the Titans. They lost their first-round pick for I don't know how long. I think for a couple of weeks. I think it was an ankle sprain. So, but I trust Tannehill and Derrick Henry over Carson and the Commanders. So I'm going to go with the Titans, but it's going to be a close game. 4 or 5, San Francisco at Carolina. I'm going San Francisco. Their defense is going to fuck up Baker Mayfield. And Jimmy's going to move the ball efficiently against that Panthers defense. My Eagles are going to the West Coast to Arizona, so that's going to be... It's honestly, I think it's going to be a pretty good game, but we have offensive line issues. I believe Jordan Mailata's still out. I don't know if he's been officially ruled out yet, but he is... I don't think he's been practicing all week. I know Darius Slay is good to go. I don't know if the Cardinals have any major injuries, but I expect the Eagles to win. It might be close, but I think the Eagles are... I'm confident in picking the Eagles. Dallas at the Rams. Unfortunately, the Rams do not look good at all, especially against San Francisco. And if Micah Parsons just does his thing, he's gonna kick ass for them. He's gonna sack Matt Stafford at least 3 times if Micah Parsons has his way. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Unfortunately, I don't want to pick Dallas, and that's going to set us up for a crazy Week 6 game against them on Sunday night, but that's next week, not this week. This Sunday night game is going to be really good, too. It's going to be Cincinnati at Baltimore. This will be, I believe, for the division lead? Or last time I checked, I believe the Cleveland Browns had the lead, only because they beat Pittsburgh and Cincinnati lost to Pittsburgh. And I believe Cleveland's the only team right now to beat a division rival. Actually, that's not true. Pittsburgh was 1-1 in division. Sorry. But Cleveland has a better because Cleveland beat them and Cincinnati didn't. So Cleveland has the lead right now only because of division win. This is a tough game to pick. Dude, this is gonna be a really good Sunday night game. But my gut is telling me to go with Baltimore just because they're at home. Lamar Jackson's a beast. He's an MVP candidate right now. He's carrying the team. Even though they don't have a lot of weapons on offense, he's still making plays. He's still throwing to them open. Mark Andrews is still a beast. Duvernay is looking like he's making Duvernay look good. So, as much as I like the Bengals, I think they're making a nice comeback for the rest of this year. I don't know if they're gonna beat Baltimore right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cincinnati won. Now the Monday night game is actually, I think this game's gonna be a lot closer than people think. I know everyone's gonna pick the Chiefs. I think everyone's gonna expect them to kick their ass, but honestly, I think the Raiders are gonna make it a game. They just need to keep it on the ground. They need Josh Jacobs to pound the football, keep the football out of Patrick Mahomes and the offense hands. And if they do that, the Vegas Raiders will have a chance to win. But I'm still going with Kansas City just because they've been one of the most dominant teams in the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs, the Bills, and the Eagles are my top three teams in no particular order. Obviously, 4-0 record-wise, Eagles are the best team. But the Chiefs and the Bills both look really good. So I wouldn't be that adamant against if you think the Chiefs or the Bills are the best team in the NFL right now. And that's me not trying to be biased. Obviously, my bias is going to be the Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now, but I wouldn't be. But if you can make an argument for the Chiefs or the Bills being the best team in the NFL as well, and I'm not going to call you like a moron. So that's it for this week. Once again, I'm going to try to be better with consistency. I can do that now, especially since personal news. I've been laid off from work this week, so I've been going on job interviews. So I'm hoping I can get a new job. Hopefully I can just get back on my feet. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's it for this week. I will see you guys next week, hopefully on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, not on the Thursday before the Thursday night game. Peace out, y'all.